How you doing?
So what you got? You got a new podcast? What's going
I
on?
don't know what's going on. I have no clue what I'm
But
doing.
this is day one, man. This is how it
The
works.
Greater Purpose.
Yeah. So
podcast.
who's this guy right
This
here?
guy is
Introduce
a
us.
guy that I was introduced to about 60 years ago.
60. That's
Yeah.
it.
His name is Willy Ace.
Willy Ace.
Yeah, Willy Ace. Actually, that name was introduced about 30-something years ago. But so this is actually me, guys. Yeah, so this is the official Chicago Cubs Willy Ace bobblehead.
Oh, I like that. It's got number 1 on the back.
Yep.
Oh.
And he dropped the bat. Do not drop the bat.
Yes.
No, the bat broke.
Hey, and look what I got,
The first autographed
man. What?
card.
Willy
Wow.
Ace. Look, it even got Willy Ace on the back. I'm not kidding you. Willy Ace is on the front and on the back.
And I've never autographed one because nobody's ever asked me to autograph.
And it's
one.
weird that he put rookie card on here because this guy's not a rookie Cubs fan. Okay,
Well, that was my first official card.
I know. I put rookie on the other one. Man.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so yeah, the Greater Purpose of a Godly Man conference we started about 3 years ago, and then off that, like you and I have discussed, we wanted to go into a podcast and have it from the one and only Cubs room.
I don't
Literally.
even know what to say about this place. I mean, it's
15,000
just,
Chicago Cubs baseball cards, and then collector's items all over the place. Over 10,000, I think it is.
wow.
And some of our podcasts, we may get into some of those items and talk
yeah.
about some of the historical value and that kind of thing. But we're going to have some guests that are going to be zooming in. Some of them will show up live. We'll do a few minutes with them. We're going to get their perspective on being a godly man, what it means to be a godly man, inspirations in their life, guys that have been inspirations for them, scripture that's been inspirational for them. That's the kind of thing that we're going to go with for the Greater Purpose podcast. And we may even allow women to be guests at one time. So they can tell us about great and godly men. Like that. Yeah,
what's not so great about godly man? Is that their purpose? No, I'm kidding.
no, we'll edit those.
We'll edit
those
those.
out. Yeah. So
No, but I saw you guys got a website here. The
thegreaterpurposepodcast.com.
All right,
You
so
can go
we
there,
got-
and that's going to be a link to all of the podcasts. So we're not going to announce our guests each week, each Monday. You won't know who they are until you listen, until you watch. Those will be on Mondays. I don't know. We'll shoot for midday sometimes. So you can watch it at lunch. But then after that, people can go back and rewatch some of them or listen to some of them. We've had some really inspirational guys over the years with the Greater Purpose of a Godly Man conference, and some of those guys will be coming back for the podcast.
Oh, that's
short,
great.
just brief little inspirational times. They're also going to share sports stories, so it'll be some fun and interesting stuff. So we're just going to have a lot of fun with it and not be. We're not going to be too overly agendized.
Is that a word?
I made
think
up a
that
word.
is a word. Yeah.
Yeah. So the
that's
newest
a good verb. I
the
like
newest
that.
thing with our men's breakfast is no agenda.
No agenda.
And we are there for purposes.
Oh, but that makes sense. That's
But-
great. No agenda.
But we're,
I like that.
building into other men's lives, networking
Yeah.
with each other, connecting with each other. That's kind of what we want to do with this podcast too. So
Okay.
have some fun with it, be inspired, and walk away a little bit refreshed from all the garbage that we have to deal with on a daily basis.
And it's funny that you say that because a lot of times I think about guys and, matter of fact, I think I've even mentioned to you about, just sometimes we need like to be able to keep each other accountable, like having accountability partners
Right.
and stuff. I've had those before.
Yeah.
And just in a godly way too, it makes it even another step above is making sure that we're keeping each other accountable on a higher level.
Right.
On a level that's even more important than just for our well-being or anything like this. This is long purpose kind of. Long purpose.
Yeah, and the best way to do that for a man is not to push him over the edge.
Right.
But to build into his life in ways that when he connects, he's comfortable, he's relaxed, we've all got walls up.
Literally.
Yeah, we've got walls.
Yeah.
I got 15,000 Chicago Cubs baseball cards on my walls, but we all have walls up. We're all blocking people out. We don't want to share stuff, and that's where we get into trouble because if we're not accountable, if we're not being discipled and discipling, if we're not building into somebody else's life, especially another man's life that's a godly man, then that's where we fall off the edge. So I think it's important to have a low-key involvement, a low-key connection, a low-key tie. and you go from there. What happened?
That's awesome. So, can you give us a hint on any of these guests?
I don't know, man. Oh, on the guests. Well, the only hint I'm going to give you is that some of them have been in our conferences and have spoken in our conferences.
All right.
But listen, it's going to be guys from all walks of life.
That's great.
All walks of life, because every godly man is important, no matter where God has put him. And these guys know that. These are guys who either experienced it in the wrong way and now are learning that God has them where he has them for a purpose. Or they already have known it and they have purposely put themselves in positions
Right.
so that they can serve other men and serve other people and serve God's cause and his purpose. So yeah, it's going to be all kinds of different guys.
So let me ask you another question for you. What got you wanting to do this? Like just the whole. Well, I wasn't going there. But
podcast?
Not the podcast.
Okay.
I'm saying in general, like the Greater Purpose Conference, because you're a very good networker, and you may not think of it as networking, but that's, in my point of view, you're one of the best networkers I've met. It's because you know how to. You know how to reach people in a way that's. You're always encouraging other people. But you don't realize, in my opinion, you don't realize you're the backbone of all that.
There's the key.
Is that you're giving out to other people to their purpose, and you're in the background making sure that they have their purpose for themselves. So my question is, what is your purpose in building other people?
So it's funny, guys, this was not rehearsed, I promise. I don't even know if we're going to use this part. But anyway, this was not rehearsed. You don't even know this about me because I've never told you this. But years ago, after I'd already been saved and been serving, I recognized a woman who was an elderly woman who was a very good encourager. Eva Harkness was her name.
All
And
right.
I went to her one day. See, are we going to get emotional on this?
Go ahead, man. It's what it is.
So I went to her one day and I said to her that I'm praying that someday God can help me learn how to be an encourager like you are, because she was so positive, so motivational. The small things that she did turned into big things in my life serving Christ. So he's done that. I think he's done that. And I asked for it, but I didn't go educate myself on it.
Listen,
I
I'm
didn't
telling
learn
you,
how
you
to
definitely
do it.
got it.
You know what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
it right
So-
now. I'm telling you.
But that's where that stemmed from, is being an encourager, building into other people's lives, and then tying into discipleship with men.
Right.
Back in 2008, when I went through some very serious times, a friend of mine came to me and said, hey, let's start discipling, accountability, partnership, et cetera, et cetera. That was in 2008. He's still my discipleship partner today. And that's Steve Patterson. Another Steve. All these Steves in my life.
Yeah.
But having those two things together have helped me. I guess it's looking at myself and what I need in order for me to be reached,
Right.
and turning that around and using that to reach others.
Like project.
Right.
Yeah, projection to other
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
to help their lives.
Yeah. So
Well, I'm telling you, man, you look at
God's good, ain't he?
I mean, so we're on. Are we on the third annual now?
Yeah. So third one. Yeah.
And when's that gonna be?
It is April 22nd,
Okay.
Saturday, April 22nd, from 1 to 4 at
All right.
Victory Christian Academy in the gymnasium.
All right.
Free refreshments in between.
All right.
But some really great speakers. These guys are, every year they come up. I mean, it's not, we don't set the agenda, no agenda. We don't set the agenda for them. I don't pick a guy and say, hey, I want you to preach, and pick another guy and say, hey, I want you to teach a lesson, or another guy and say, I want you to tell about your history, or I want you to give a testimony. We don't do any of that. I just give them a general guideline, and they go from there. And for the past 2 years, it's been amazing. They have come. I mean, one guy he taught a Sunday school lesson right there. It was great. And then another guy from his background, growing up as an African American young man, what different things created the godliness in his life and where that came from. Sheriff Chad Hawkins spoke one year.
Man,
he was amazing.
Yeah.
Just his background and what he came out of to what he is today.
Yeah, I remember going. I think it was the first one, and I remember it was a Judge
Craig Collins.
Yeah,
awesome.
he spoke,
Oh, man.
and it was interesting to see because his point of view was from a godly perspective, and he was talking about, I'm not used to speaking this way.
Right.
which was amazing to
Yes.
hear
Yes.
because what he does for a living and how he's what it's pulling back the veil or
Yeah.
pulling
Taking off the robe.
yeah literally yeah.
Craig
Well,
Craig is amazing, and
Yeah.
he's been a sounding board for me for this stuff and other stuff too. Just a godly judge
yeah
in a world that none of us understand. Fortunately, we're not involved in that. We don't see it, and he has to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. But his background and what he shared has been amazing over the last couple of years. So he is going to share a little bit with us. He's going to do the introductions and that kind of stuff for this event. So, but yeah, some really great guys in the past and some really awesome guys coming up, and they've all been tremendous, inspirational and motivational. Yeah.
So can you give us a list of who's going to be at the conference this year?
Yeah, so
who's speaking?
Yeah, so Dr. Claude Williams will be there again, of course.
Okay.
Al Conklin's going to do the opening prayer, virtual prayer for us.
That's cool.
So Craig Collins is going to do some introductions.
You mean the Al Conklin?
Al Conklin, the
from
chief meteorologist. Yeah.
Okay.
Good,
My dad,
awesome
I mean,
guy.
he always talks about, I grew up watching Al
Yeah.
Conklin.
Al's a great guy. He's a tremendous Christian man, a good, solid Christian guy, and his schedule doesn't always permit him. He's actually a coach for his son's baseball team.
Oh, okay.
So
here we go.
Yeah, so he can't commit to a Saturday
Right.
at all once
Right.
the season starts. So, but he has committed to this. This will be the second year he's done something for us there.
Oh, that's great.
He did some stuff for some Christmas programs for us.
Yeah.
Audio things. He's been on my roof looking at my antenna. But anyway, so that's a long story. But
Hey.
we'll save that one for later. But,
Yeah, that's a good
So
one.
Al's going to do the virtual prayer. Craig's going to introduce some people. Dr. Williams will open in prayer for us. We got Jet Edwards and Josh Dawson doing some, of course, the national anthem and doing some praise and worship songs for us and stuff like that. And then as far as speakers, we've got the Jesus Saves man, Sam Bethea. He's the guy that stands on the street corners and has the Jesus Saves signs and just tells everybody about God's love.
Oh, okay.
He's been on the news. He's had all kinds of things happen to him that would have made a lot of people really mad.
Yeah.
And he does not retaliate. He's just an awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, awesome person. State Senator Brad Overcash.
Okay.
He's another great godly man, awesome Christian, great family, wonderful person. We
need that nowadays.
You talk about
too.
being an encourager.
Yeah.
Dude, this is the man right here. I've never walked away from a conversation with him where I have not been encouraged about me, not about what he's doing for me, but about me personally. So,
Yeah.
Also, Pastor Adrian Franklin, of course. He's
All right.
He's going to come. He's not going to preach.
Okay.
Well, maybe he will. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's gonna. But what I and again, I don't give directives, but I do give guidelines. I just want him to come and be himself.
Yeah.
And just share from a pastor's evangelist perspective, father, husband, friend,
Right.
A godly man's perspective, and he's going to do
He definitely
that.
shows up. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be great. So we're going to enjoy that too. So, but Travis Page, our Gaston County DA, another godly man, has some great inspirational. I mean, he's shared information and personal stories just in general conversations that have been like crazy. And I was like, dude, you got to do this for me.
Sure.
Well, not for me, for us.
No,
So,
for
these
the
guys,
purpose.
These guys aren't
The
doing
greater
it for-
purpose
the
of
greater
godly
purpose
men,
of
right?
godly
Yeah,
men,
yeah.
exactly.
So, right.
Yeah, and
For
Rob,
you, for us,
yeah,
for
yeah,
everyone.
for all right, all
Yeah.
you guys, yeah.
Yeah.
Not you women, you can't come. But anyway,
We'll figure something out.
Sorry, Rob Wagman. So
Wagman.
this guy, the best way for me to explain who he is he's Sarah Lee's husband. Okay, radio station 96.9, I think it is,
Okay.
right, with Paul Shad. But he is Sarah Lee's husband. So most guys may or may not appreciate being described like that, but he has such a great sense of humor, a friendly guy, awesome guy, great attitude, and he's great with that. That's what he wants to be.
Good.
He's also a humorist, got a great sense of humor. He has an amazing, if you can look him up on LinkedIn, Rob Wagman, he has such an unbelievable resume. He's done so many different things in all kinds of, mainly media and entertainment, that kind of stuff. Done some amazing stuff. So Rob's going to come and share a little bit with us.
We'll share that link in the more section on the YouTube.
Right. Yep. So and those are all of our speakers except for we got Craig, so somebody will be there for the least of these Carolinas. Usually Lee Turner has come in the past.
Okay.
Explained a little bit about it. Yeah. And so we've gotten some guys interested in at least these Carolinas, some of their programs that they have going on. He's not going to be able to be there. Something about some kind of wedding or something for his daughter. I mean, nothing important. But no.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he can't. He wants to be there. He can't be there, but he's got somebody that he's going to come and deliver a little bit of information about that. And Jason Mitchell with CTO.
Oh yeah, love
Cross
CTO.
Trail Outfitters.
Yep.
Yeah,
My
great
son's just getting involved with CTO.
That is cool. Great organization. Unbelievable inspiration. Jason is a great speaker. Just speaks from his heart and delivers a great little introductory thing for us. So there'll be some tables there with information, different organizations like some company called Wright Solutions. I don't know who they are, but you know anything about them?
I've met the president and the owner of the company, which is me.
Yeah, right. There you go.
No, but we're excited to be involved. We love what you're doing.
Well,
and I cannot imagine not attaching my name to somebody like you.
Well,
that's how I look at it.
God's good. He does amazing and awesome things, and I don't. Sometimes, especially if you're campaigning for a political office, you've got to put yourself out there.
Sure,
it's a hard thing to do. By the way, these guys that have been at all these things, that are those, they're not comfortable with that either, but they have to do that. And so they understand on something like this too, stepping out there, putting your name out there, putting your face to it, etc., and being used of God, whatever way He wants to use it. So.
See, it's funny for me because I like being that guy, and then I'm the guy that ends up having to work in the background.
Yeah, right. There you
I was like, God, what you doing with me? I was like, how fair is that?
We need to switch.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, even like Pastor Franklin, he says, I'm an introvert.
That's right.
Like, I wouldn't be on stage if I wouldn't be up there.
We need the smart guys behind the scenes because the stupid guys are out front.
Don't use that word. That's not true. No, not true. I call that a bad word. That's
I know. Sorry
that's
about
a bad
that.
job.
This is not for if well, we can't tell you now that you children can't listen to this. They just heard that. So.
No, you're
fine.
fine.
And we're going to keep this thing short. We want to keep it
short.
Like 10,
if
15
two of us
minutes
are on here, it will never be short.
Right, that's why.
But the other people that will be on here will be short.
Yeah, and they'll have some information ahead of time, so they'll be prepared. We're not going to blindside anybody or do anything crazy. Then they're going to be able to share some stuff from their own heart, some things that they've got going on. So, and probably their connection to some ministry that they're really excited about. So, but we're going to keep it at 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
Short, simple. If you're a guy like me, your attention span is, like this, so you're going to lose me after a little bit. So we don't want to lose anybody. We want to have fun. Yeah. And we want it to be inspirational, interesting, and fun.
So how can we find out about the podcast?
Okay, so thegreaterpurposepodcast.com.
Okay.
That's a really long one. So,
it is? Okay.
And eventually the Greater Purpose Podcast will also be linked to it. You can also search on Facebook, The Greater Purpose. We'll put all the links on there. The Greater Purpose of a Godly Man.
Okay.
There's a Facebook page. The easiest one that you don't want is the BWASAP.
Oh, no, that's good too. Yeah. We need to have that one as well, of course. Yeah. But okay, and then can you hit up one more time when and where?
Yeah, so the
conference.
So the conference is going to start. The conference will be April 22nd, Saturday, April 22nd from 1 to 4 p.m. at Victory Christian Academy. And our podcasts, we're going to drop this first one, which is you're watching now today. It's the first Monday in March, and then we'll be dropping them every Monday off after that. So different guests. We probably won't lead into the conference with anything on the podcast.
Sure.
It's not going to be directly connected because I don't want to, if somebody's got something they're going to share at the conference.
Right.
I don't want them to, we don't want to hear all that before they get to the conference.
But we might get some faces.
Oh yeah, we'll get some faces.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely get some faces.
All right, well good.
Sure.
Well that and that's important for me too. Like someone that maybe I don't know some of these people that are going to show up and speak.
Yeah.
Maybe I get a little bit of background info on them and understand some. Understand.
And some of that is on the Facebook page right now. The
great.
Awesome.
Page, yeah.
So hey, by the way, whatever you got, if you got information, anything you want to share, questions, ideas, thoughts, we are going to be pre-recording these, so they'll be in advance. So anything you send us, ideas, thoughts, criticisms, no criticism, but anything. We're going to look at that stuff. We want this to be a podcast that you want to look at and listen to and watch and follow every week to week, see what's coming up, what's interesting, who's it going to be, that kind of thing. So shoot us some suggestions. We're not going to shut that out. So, right,
Bill.
Hey, brother.
It's been a pleasure, man.
You too, Steven. I
I'm
call
glad.
him Steve all the time. But it's Steven.
It is
right.
Steven. Yeah, I'm a PHEN guy. So.
And by the way, he's going to be the man behind the scenes, but he's really the man that's going to make this thing happen. So,
well, thank you. I'm like I said, you teach me how to be of service. I just learned. I'm learning from you. So I appreciate it, brother.
You're a good man, bro.
Thank you.
And the old got to do the fist bump.
Oh yeah, I got you.
That's going to be our closer, right there.
All right. Well, sounds good, man. I appreciate my card, by the way. I'm very happy to have this. You have no idea.
And goodbye from the Cubs room.
All right, man. Well, take care. We'll see you soon.